Well, it's been about 8 days after New Year's and our update of the truck. It's about a weekly update here. So I moved the truck on the lift just so it's more easy to work on. Adjustable heights. And yeah, it's just easier to work on. A lot more stuff gets done than sitting on the floor. The cab is all done. Get the holes drilled finally, the 1/2 inch done. The high beam switch, still got one more bolt to take off. And that's it for the cab. So on the truck now, I got everything's done almost. I'm pretty much on the last 3 items before the cap goes on finally. So hopefully this Friday is the plan, and I have 2 friends coming over to help. So what have I done since New Year's? My memory gets to me. So first off, new pinion seal installed. Now I do need to note myself, eventually this yoke needs replaced. It's missing that little clip here to hold the universal joint from falling out the bearing. So that's bad. And then also right next to it, one of the U-bolt slots, the bolt slides into, it's also chipped. So I need to replace that at some point over time. Run the front axle. Front axle, open up the differential, inspected the gears, oil, everything. I had about half a quart of oil total in the diff, total. Anyway, still enough. But the gears are all nice, nothing wrong. Spider gears are nice, except I noticed my ring gear was loose. 3 bolts out, I think 6 or 8 bolts total are loose. So on the book, torqued it to I think 40 pounds with respect to 38 to 42. So 40 I did too, to the bolts star pattern. So that's all good now. I still may want to adjust the preload on this, how much torque it's put down. I know, it still not needs messed with. So drive shaft's on. Skid plate now. Now I know my caster angle's off due to my tie rod touching my leaf spring. It steers barely, but it's rubbing a lot. And it shouldn't be that low. It should be almost a 1/2 inch of clearance. Not even a 1/4 inch right now. And so that's off, plus we know caster's off. This angle here is 2.5 degree angle, or say 3. This down here is a near 10, 11 degree angle. So you want this to be equal to that. So I need to bring the pinion down. So at this point, I think I need a 6 to 8 degree shim facing this way. So then the tie rod goes up and this goes down to be correct for caster angle. So I need some shims eventually, but not till the cab goes on. All the truck's weight is fully down. Then I can adjust caster to get it correctly. Then I need to trim out my skid plate so the drive shaft has clearance, then paint the skid plate. T90 has oil, we're good. This has oil, we're good. And then a day later, it's leaking out of the output shaft back here. The seal is good, it's new, but of course it hasn't had oil and it just sits for a couple of days and not spinning. But also, I topped it off there at the fill line. I topped it off here at the fill line, but since they kind of share oil partially, some ports, it's definitely overfilled in here to where it's pouring out here. The guy that rebuilt this, Bob, he says I would pull this apart, drain all the oil out, and go ahead and let it dry. Add some RTV to the splines, put the yoke back on, let it dry, and then pour oil inside. But at least it's not anything else leaking. Gasket below's not leaking. That's the big thing I like. So I'm happy. At least it leaks, whatever. At least I know there's oil in it. And for me, every car show, every Friday in the summertime, I always top up oil, grease, tire pressure, always like an airplane, always inspecting everything. So if it was my daily driver, yeah, I'd fix it way better. All right, next thing, rear drive shaft. Grandpa told me this is pointing vertical, that's fine. But back here, this is pointing offset. So that's gonna throw the drive shaft off balance. So I need to also, when I'm doing the seal RTV deal, pull this whole unit off the splines and respline it so it's equal to that universal. All right, so that's that. Then the rear axle, the fun part of the video. Tore it apart, all fine inside, ring and pinion's okay, no issues. Oil's all nice. Well, first off, I couldn't get the diff cover off because someone put them on so tight. In the book, there's 20 foot-pounds of torque for each of them. It's a nice tight seal, but still, it was way over 20 pounds tight. But breaker bar on each one, got them off. Same as the fill and the drain, had to use my breaker bar to get them off. And then inside, degreased it, clean it well. All right, inspect the gears down. Any chips in them? Ring and pinion's okay. But one of my spider gears is well destroyed. I've been driving it fine for 200 miles I've owned the truck, and in total 500 miles since the truck was rebuilt, the motor-wise. So it's lasted 500 miles, but for who knows how long that gear has been chipped. Now, I've only ever found one chip in the whole bottom of the housing from the other 5 other chips there is in the spider gear. So the rest of the gears are fine. I don't know how, but whatever. So mystery. Anyhow, so I need a new spider gear. I didn't look up the cost for a new spider gear, but even still, whether which way, if I'm going to rebuild this axle, I'm putting a limited slip in this thing. If I'm going to go through all the work to put new bearings in it, limited slip, that's what I want to do. But they're hard to find. It's, yeah. I still may do it. I found a set of axles in Heil for $200 with good gears, all new brakes. The ratio is unknown, so 488 or 538, either's fine. So I might just pick those up, or eventually when I do my Kubota diesel swap, I'll make those all restored, new bearings, everything, and just run these for a while until that explodes. Or I can lock this one up with a welder, who knows. So that's the plan as of right now. Or thoughts, I go to a Dana 60, but it's $8. I'm gonna change this out to a 538 5.5 pattern adapter. There's that deal. I can do Ford 8.8 axle, it's an option, or I do a Dana 44 from a Wagoneer from AMC. That's probably more common, but harder to find. It's more common to do, easy to swap, it's just harder to find. So I reached out to Jeep Recyclers in Pennsylvania. Gonna get back to me if they have any. So anyhow, that's where I'm at on this axle deal. I don't want to deal with axles until my diesel is in this truck in 2 or 3 years from now, when I have money for a diesel and that's in. Then we're gonna do front disc brakes from Brendan's Garage for this stock axle, or we go to Dana 30, and I still gotta get a dual master anyhow. So yeah, I don't want to do it now. I mean, I'm doing my restoration. I should do it now, but money's kind of tight. I'm 17th grand on this truck, and I'm trying to make a business soon right now. And I'm going to college within a year for automotive restoration. Possibly, we're thinking about it. To Ohio Tech. I don't know. I'm trying to play some tables. I need to be free, enjoy my truck as is, enjoy its stock, and over time I can add a diesel, add 35s, add Dana 60s to it. I can do that in the future, but leave the thing stock. All right, next few things. Gas tank's in. Yeah, we're all good. I put all new fuel line running down. I went ahead and put a split right there in case I ever need to, which I did need to, because I'll show you in this, I made a mistake putting it in. Dad put it through this hole, which is for the steering box. So yeah, mistake. So cut it there, ran it through, and then pops out up here. So now it's all good. Extraness galore. But yeah, we'll trim that to fit. Once the cap goes on, once the fenders goes on, then we'll adjust this. So next thing I'm working on is the priority right now is this issue, and I have an issue here. So I'm working on these pedals, which are fine. Main thing is this cross tube. Now my truck what this whole drivetrain's out of. This is a new chassis, so this chassis I can trust. It's straight and perfect. But something's off here. My truck was originally 2-wheel drive, back factory in 49. Some point got to be 4-wheel drive. You know, whatever, calm shift, now it's 4 shift, whatever. But for some reason, I have so much slop. Let's go short screen. That's all we have tight. There's a big enough gap. I'm afraid it's gonna pop out at any moment of time. So I called my friend Rich. He's working on his truck right now. Same time frame. His body's not done yet. But I said, let's measure our tubes here to here, 10 1/4. We're both matching. Okay, the tube's okay. And then let's measure this piece. About welds look homemade, but the thing is the right height. We both hit our bell housing right there. That's fine. Everything's perfect, but it's like, why do I have a gap here? Why is it so far off? And okay, let's measure from frame rail to that hole. Let's measure from frame to whatever we kept choosing. That, but also on this side from different points we measured. And basically, somehow, my whole drivetrain is pushed over a 1/4 inch, somehow, to the right. So, it's well secure in how it was factory. These holes all line up perfectly. I don't know. It's off by a 1/4 inch, totally. And so, I even said, like, this bolt goes into a fitting that has a pivot for this to pivot on. Measure that. That's correct. So that's not the problem too. So we're back and forth. Pretty much at this point now is to get a longer bolt, and then that fitting that pivots on between that and the frame rail, add about a 1/4 inch worth of material. Now it's out here, it's 1/4 inch off in width. As you go inwards, a little bit less. So maybe 0.2 of a shim or washer should do with the trick. The other thing is, it recalls for 2 springs and a piece of felt. Now up here I have them all. Down here I got the felt, that's it, no spring, because it's gonna bounce out. It's like, it's not gonna do a thing, and this spring's so stiff, it just, no. So I have the old spring I found down the pit here. I'm gonna cut this to the length I believe it should, a little bit extra, and so I can compress it. So I'm gonna do that down here. Anyhow, that's what I'm dealing with. My major concern here is this, before the cap can go on. So, all right, so that's my hassle right now with that. And that's it for the frame. All right, that's it for all that. We're all caught up now. A lot better than posting 4 videos and 10 minutes of me talking. Now it's only, right now, 13 minutes in. I'm already updated you for the week instead of dailies. All right, next thing on my mind is oil pan. I was always worried about my remain seal leaking, and it still could be. I don't 100% know. But also, like, do I have any metal shavings, chips, bronze, or whatever inside the oil pan? I've already cleaned it now, but it's clean. I have not found any chips at all in the oil pan. The only thing I've been finding is rubber, which I think is just the gasket material that was used. Not cork. I think it should be. So I'm not finding nothing in here. There's a lot of goo in here, but that was just because I put stop leak in there because it was leaking oil like crazy. Like, I think it's the motor leaking oil into the bell housing. I poured about, not half, but 1/4 of that bottle in, and I believe that went from the dipstick straight down to the oil pan and puddled up right here. So that's all I found in the oil pan. So that's all clean. I need to wire wheel it, paint it red, put a new gasket on down here, scrape up, clean up the bottom, install it, we're done. So, all right, that's that update. So, okay. Here I got my exhaust all painted, ready to go, and also handbrake cables need done. And a lot of this, like, I want to do it now right away, but the clutch linkage is the main priority here in oil pan. I can always install handbrake stuff, exhaust pipe when the cab's on. So I can still lift it up in the shop and work below to get access. It's a lot better access right here to get in to the frame or crawling this way and work versus right on the ground. So, all right, so that's all that update there. All right, so I think total cost update right now is $15K 700-ish. So that's where I'm at. All right, next updates. That's about all in mind. I think we're about 1 more month out total, like 30 days or so, once my overdrive ships out for overdrive. All right, so that's that. And then I'm still working with Gatekeeper Off-Road. We're going to be making some knuckle lights then out here, come out over here, and shine some nice spotlights out. So when I'm steering, I can see where I'm going. Light shines as you steer. The most down low light as possible is a spotlight. I got floodlights here, I'm good. If I want some nice white spotlights down here. So they're still pretty busy doing modern vehicles, making products for, but they reached out. It's like, we'll send you free brackets, free lights for a $150 offer, help concept for some vintage Jeeps for us. So sure. So I sent them measurements of the block here, and we'll figure out how much angle, how much back and forth we need. I can 3D print in my house for a quick prototype. So we're still working on those. I got the skid plate there put on, but the back gas tank, I'm gonna have to get it done locally. Shops out west want to help me out, but shipping's a killer. So, fine, go local. Find a local shop that can make me some bends and custom laser cut holes for mounting a gas tank skid plate. I think it's like 32 by 32, plus a beaver tail lip, so it doesn't hit rocks dead on. Plus back here for departure angle, a lip. So, but also I need to make some things for this drawbar to get support and doesn't get twisted. So that all needs done still. Alrighty, I'm gonna leave it at that at this point. So, alright, that's all. And one more thing, I guess. I am on a hunt for a back winch. I want to go Warren, of course. USA rope is my rope I'll use. That's fine. So I don't care what it is, what rope. I need a minimum of 4,500, 5,000 pounds of power. You can always run snatch block if you have to, but I don't really want to if I'm running both winches at once. I'm going to mount it over there someplace. The mounting's fine. My biggest killer here is to disengage and engage free spool. By having it down low, say I'm in a mud pit or a creek crossing, I don't want to crawl into my truck to disengage and engage the free spool. That's my only negativity to any winches. I can't find nothing that has a handle. I mean, the big ones like these have a handle, which is great, but I don't want it this big of a winch. The control box down below, but I want this handle so I can take off, mill a hole through it, and run a rod where I can control free spool or not from the outside of the vehicle. So yeah, that's what I'm working on there, trying to figure that out. No big deal. I got like 2 more months before the bit goes on, so got time for that. Onboard air compressor, air tank's over there. I figured out where I want to put it exactly. Just gonna make some mounts. My air compressors are gonna go right in here, spot, but I need to find a box that keep them kind of watertight, but still has a nice air breeze through them for cooling. There's that. Again, when the cab's on, we'll do it. And I need to see if that's space for exhaust. So it's gonna come in here, curve, and then go to my stack. So I need that space for exhaust. All right, that's enough for the video. So there's your weekly update for the Jeep Iron Patriot. All right, thanks for watching.